If you really want to improve the quality of your relationships, whatever you paid to get into here tonight, just this one little sentence will dramatically alter your relationships. I'm not just talking about the person that you live with. I'm talking about people that you meet on the street, people that you work with, people that wait on you in restaurants, whomever they are. When you have the choice, and you always do, to be right or to be kind, just pick kind. It's a whole new paradigm, and I no longer have to be right. Now there's a shift in awareness that will lead you to higher consciousness. Someone says you really are, and you say, I appreciate you pointing that out. You know, I really do behave like a jerk a lot, and having someone point it out to me really probably will help me to transcend that. Yeah, Han, it's very nice of you. The subtitle of my new book is called Making the Decision to Be Free. Making the decision to be free. Now, freedom, the best definition I ever heard of freedom was offered by Florinda Donner in a wonderful book called Being and Dreaming. Florinda Donner defined it this way. She said, freedom is the absolute lack of concern about yourself. Now that's freedom. When I was walking with Marianne Williamson in Melbourne, Australia just a few months ago, we toured the Australia Speak. We went for a walk one day. My daughter, my oldest daughter, was babysitting her little girl, Palma. Yeah, we went for a walk for about 2 or 3 hours, just talking about the tour and what we were going to do on this and the programs and all of that. She said to me out of nowhere, do you have any secret desires? Just like that. There was a time when someone asked me that question in a park, you know, a woman. I would have come up with a sort of crass remark. But I said, yes, I do have a secret desire. She said, what is it? I said, I would like to disappear and still be here. I remember reading in some of Castaneda's later works saying that freedom is really a disappearing act. Like you have to learn how to disappear your ego and the absolute lack of concern about yourself. It's about how things affect you, how self-absorbed you are, how important you are, and your need to be right all the time. All of this is part of a paradigm that we have been taught because we believe in this ego, which stands for edging God out. Our ego is the part of us that is our false self. And I say that without qualification. It is the part of us that would have us believe that we are separate from, that we are more important than, that we are special. I want to tell you right now, folks, if you want to understand higher awareness, you've got to get off of this thing that you are special. You are not special in the eyes of God or anyone else. It implies that if you are special, someone else is not, doesn't it? If everyone is special, then we don't need a word like that to specify who is and who isn't. You know, we are all divine creations, extensions of God, every single one of us. No one better, no one more important, no one more advanced, no one prettier, no one more anything. This whole idea that we have been carrying around with us about what it is that offends us, what it is that we find difficult to live with, and how important it is for us to be right and to make other people wrong, all of this stuff is an absence of higher awareness. You've got to somehow figure out a way to transcend it and begin to believe in something that you can't see. Believe in something that you can't see. I wrote a story. I'm going to share just a part of it with you. It's a story that I open up your sacred self with. The story goes like this. Imagine this scene. 2 babies are in utero, roommates confined to the walls of their mother's womb, and they are having a conversation. Okay, just willingly suspend disbelief and let this in. 2 little twins having a conversation. For the sake of clarity, we'll call these twins Ego and Spirit. Like Spirit says to Ego, I know you're going to find this difficult to accept, but I truly believe there is life after birth. Ego responds, don't be ridiculous. Look around you. This is all there is. Why must you always be thinking about something beyond this reality? Why don't you just accept your lot in life, make yourself comfortable, forget about all this life after birth nonsense, go in the corner and grab your cord and knock it off. Spirit quiets down for a while, but her inner voice won't allow her to remain silent any longer. Ego, now don't get mad, but I have something else to say. I also believe that there is a mother. A what? A mother? How can you be so absurd? You've never seen a mother. Why can't you accept that this is all there is? The idea of a mother is crazy. You are here alone with me. This is your reality. It's wet, it's cold, it's crowded. This is it. Trust me, there is no mother. Trust me. Spirit reluctantly stops her conversation with Ego, but her restlessness soon gets the better of her. Ego, she implores, now listen without rejecting my idea. Just listen. Somehow I think that those constant pressures that we both feel, those movements that make us so uncomfortable, that continual repositioning and all of that closing, and that seems to be taking place as we keep on growing, that this is all getting us ready for a place of glowing light. We're going to experience it very soon. Now I know you're insane, replies Ego. All you've ever known is darkness. You've never seen light, Joe. How can you even contemplate such an idea? Those movements, those pressures you feel, these are your reality. You are a distinct, separate being. This is your journey. Darkness and pressures and a closed-in feeling. This is what life is all about. You're going to have to fight it as long as you live. Now grab your cord and stay still. Spirit relaxes for a while, but finally she can contain herself no longer. Ego, I have only one more thing to say, and then I'll never bother you again. Go ahead, Ego responds. Go ahead. And patiently, I believe all of these pressures and all of this discomfort are not only going to bring us a new celestial light, but when we experience it, we are going to meet Mother face to face and know an ecstasy that is beyond anything we've ever experienced up until now. You really are crazy, Spirit. Now I'm convinced of it. And so you see the metaphor, don't you? I don't even have to explain it. We who come to talks like this are what my friend Stuart Wilde calls fringe dwellers. We are dwelling on the fringe, all of us. We are filling out the forms. We are in the system. We are not that rebellious yet. We receive a lot of criticism. A lot of people think we're nuts. I want to tell you, all of those people who do will be down this road with you before long, as soon as we get it paved. And while it's still rough, those who don't want to travel rough roads will be your critics. But most of us are sort of living what Jesus talked about when he said to be in the world, but not of the world. So all of us here in this room know in our hearts that we are on a path that can't be stopped. It's a very powerful force within us, and it motivates us not only to come to things like this, but to behave in new ways and to break out of old paradigms. We also know that there's something more to this life that we are experiencing other than just being a part of a system. We are going to have a deeper, richer experience of life. We know it's available. We know that it doesn't matter what the system says, and that we are going to be what I call scurvy elephants. When I was a little boy living in an orphanage, I came home and said to the lady who ran the place, "What's the scurvy elephant?" She said, "What?" I said, "I heard my third grade teacher telling the principal that Wayne Dyer was in her classroom and that he was a scurvy elephant." She said, "I don't know what that is, but I'll call." She called the principal, and the principal said, "Oh no, that's Wayne. He gets everything mixed up." She didn't say that he was a scurvy elephant in her classroom. She said that he was a disturbing element in her classroom. So we usually have a house full of them now when I speak. Your karmic payoff is usually that if you are one yourself, you get 2 or 3 of them to graze. I got 8. So knowing that there is a deeper and richer experience of life available to us as fringe dwellers who are sort of in the world but not of the world, we know this is not home. This is not our home. We know it. We know that we are not human beings having a spiritual experience, but that it's the other way around. That we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. We know this, and we know that there was a moment when, before we showed up here on this plane, when we were in nowhere, and this is the moment just before your conception,